All right, welcome back, everybody. Hot Mic live on location here in Las Vegas. The commissioner is taking questions. If we have time, we might dip back into that. But we got a chance to talk to QB1. We're going to drop everything and make sure we do that. It's great to see Nathan Hayes join us here on set. North Dakota State starting quarterback. Old man now, 5th year. I can remember talking when you committed, which seems like an eternity ago. But
yes,
tell me about being here. Just this feels real now that FBS football is here.
Yeah, it is surreal, just being here with all the other teams. We got a lot of great teams in this new league in the Mountain West, so it is cool getting the chance to meet the guys, hang out with them a little bit, especially at the event we had last night. A lot of cool kids, and it's going to be fun to play them this year.
You know, we talked the day of the announcement. I don't know if it felt real then that this was happening, and obviously the last few months there's been a bunch of stuff. We went through spring ball. When did it start feeling real for you that this is now coming?
Yeah, I think after spring ball, when we got a chance to dive in a little more into the film of this new conference, this summer watching a lot of film on the new teams, the big games that we're going to play, Jacksonville State to start, and then some of the big away games we have in this conference. Just diving into that makes it feel a little more real, and it's coming quicker than we think.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's down to 40-something days,
right?
So. It seemed like yesterday that was just 100. So it's definitely getting here quick. And we start camp in a week and a half.
Right,
so,
a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
It's go time. You've been waiting a long time to take the reins. You saw Cole wait a while. How much did you use that for your own knowledge of how to bide your time and now ready to take over as a starting quarterback?
Yeah, that's definitely something that I've talked to Cole a lot about.
Yeah.
He's been a really good influence in that regard. Just seeing the journey that he took, how he was able to learn from Cam, and then sitting behind those two, learning from Cam, learning from Cole, seeing how Cole handled the situation, bounce ideas around off each other about how Cole prepared his weekly schedule that he did. So it's definitely something that I'm going to take into the season, kind of play around with, find my own routine, but definitely use him as a role model for that.
I'm interested. You've, I think, thrown more passes than Cole did going into his senior year. I feel like we know more about you than even Cole. You feel that you've played a lot. You feel that's accurate? I know it's not been huge, meaningful reps, and I say that in terms of like the game is on the line. Do you feel like I've been out there, but now it's time to actually start a game?
Yeah, it is interesting in that regard because Cole did play a lot.
Yeah.
But he had a little bit different role than
Correct.
I had. He would go into games here and there as a runner through a few passes. So I think that was a big question mark that he was able to knock off the board right away with his passing skills. And that's something we never questioned in practices because we always knew Cole was a good passer, but I guess the media had a big question mark there. And so I think it was cool that he was able to come in and get rid of that right away. And then, moving towards myself, like I had a little bit different role than he did. So I do think I showed a little bit of what I can do, and I'm hoping to build off that early in the season.
What are you most anticipating? Like, okay, this is now going to be my job in terms of I have to do this differently than I have approached the last 4 years.
I think the biggest thing is just being able to handle situations. When you go in late in games, when you're up big, shout out to all the guys that were able to
put the game
into that
it was, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You go in and nothing's really on the line. You're able to, instead of taking a little check down, you're able to push the ball down the field. And so what if it's an incompletion?
Yeah.
Now, it could be a big play in the first quarter that, swings the game into our momentum, gets us going, whether that's just a check down, a 3-yard dump that turns into a 20-yard gain, a big first down on a 3rd and long. So I think that's the biggest thing that's going to have to change, and that's something that I've been working with Coach Polisek, Coach Larson, Coach Bashorner on just when to take the big shot, when to take the check down.
I got to ask, you were invited to go to the Manning Passing Academy.
Yep.
First off, tell me how you found out and then describe the experience down in Louisiana.
Yeah, so I went down in May to work with QB Country in Mobile.
Yeah.
And that was an awesome experience getting down there. Worked out with Jacksonville State's quarterback while I was down there.
Got a little, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So had a little bit of fun competition down there. Kind of got to see a little bit of his style play, and I'm sure he saw a little bit of my style play. And then, he was talking to me. He was saying that this is a possibility getting you to the Manning camp, just because he was roommates with Eli in college. So they kind of started that QB country together. He's training all the Mannings now. He's training Arch. He's training Marshall, Peyton's son. So that's cool there. And then
it's kind of a big deal there, right? Holy cow!
And then, his connections there. He was able to get me a spot into the Manning Academy. I thank him a lot for that. And yeah, he called me up one day and said, "How would you like to join the Manning Academy?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, let's do it." So it was an awesome experience, just the social aspect of being down there. Not only meeting the Mannings, but just the competition between all the other quarterbacks, the best of the best in the country. A lot of experienced guys, a lot of guys that are going to be drafted next year. So it's cool to compete against them.
Who you more associate your game with, Peyton or Eli? For how you play quarterback?
I don't know. I think they're very similar. Yeah, I don't know.
I think gunslinger. I think more for me. My opinion of you is more Peyton Manning than Eli, because I think Peyton was more gunslinger than Eli was. That's just my 2 cents from watching him play and how I've seen you play.
Yeah, especially at the end of his career, he wasn't as mobile as he used to be. So he had to be the sheriff that he was. And handle the offense, push the ball down the field. Last
thing, and I know you got a million things to do today. We're going to talk to you again later. The inherent pressure that comes with being the North Dakota State starting quarterback. The lineage of guys that have gone on, had success at NDSU, and then obviously what's happened afterwards. How do you handle that now coming in for your first year as a starter?
Yeah, I think it's really hard to get your head wrapped around, all right, there was, Easton, Trey, Carson, Cam, Cole, and it's really easy to say, I want to be one of those guys. I want to be a mix of those guys. But something that Cole went through, something that they talked to him a lot about is just be you.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I just have to keep thinking, be myself, because I'm not going to be an exact replica of any of those guys. Cole is a better athlete than I am, and so he had a little bit different style of play. Same with Cam before him. So just going to go out there and be myself. And I think that's the biggest thing. That's something that Coach Larson harps on a lot. Just be yourself, be you, take what you can get, and then, keep the team moving forward, keep being a leader, and everything's going to play out.
Any more personal fouls this year?
No, we're gonna knock those off the board. I think I was one and done last year.
It's great to see you. Thanks so much for doing this. I know we got a bunch more to do today. Thanks for doing this. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thanks for having me. Yep.
Nathan Hayes joining us, Bison starting quarterback here in Las Vegas at Mountain West Media Days. We'll break. We'll get one more Bison player here quick because they've got a bunch of other stuff to do. It's the final half hour of the show. We're back from Vegas after this.